be the best way to do history. And I thought, a museum would be great. We don't have a museum. There is no museum whatsoever. Our only archive is the magazines.
Right.
And if you're not in the magazine, nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows your art. Nobody knows nothing. And I said, a museum would be fantastic.
Chronicle fan, what is up? We are out here in Burbank. I'm finally gonna get the opportunity to head over to the Martial Arts History Museum. I got a special invite from the curator and owner, Mr. Michael Matsuda. So we're gonna go in, check this thing out, give you guys the guided tour and all that. But business first, do me that quick favor, drop down a like, share the content if you're enjoying it, and of course, spread the word that you're into content like this so we can of course make more of that. Then follow us on all of my social links here, and everywhere. And make sure you do stay to the end of the video because we will have some special information regarding the museum and a possible new location for it. All right, ready? Let's go. It's a very special episode of Kung Fu Chronicles today. I am with not only the owner, well, first of all, I'm in the Martial Arts History Museum in Burbank, California, and its owner and representative here, Grandmaster Michael Matsuda, has been so gracious to bring me out here today, which is amazing. So I got to check out the museum and everything. So I'm going to get it straight. You're not only a martial artist, instructor, you're a businessman, a writer, and of course owner of the museum. So thank you, of course, for doing this.
Oh, no, thank you very much. Many titles there, but the best one is martial artist. There you go.
So I definitely want to talk about your history. We got a few common connections. We talked about offline. Cynthia Rothrock, who did this, one of her systems that she did was mine when I started in Northern Eagle Claw. My Sigong always talks about that, how, Cynthia Rothrock, we have old videos of her, so I know you know her well. And then your Sensei Cecil Peoples.
Right, yeah.
Really great guy. Yeah. And I know you're actually having an event coming up with him soon.
Yeah, we are going to be inducting his uniform into the museum. We're going to show his biography, and we're going to celebrate his birthday as well. So we're going to have a great time. It's going to be packed.
So right off the bat, I'm going to just ask you just about, just for people that don't know your martial arts history first, how did you start getting involved in the arts and training?
Well, I started in 1967, back in the arts. Kung Fu was actually the first art I started. Back then Kung Fu and stuff was hard to find, and one of Kwai Wong's students named Juan was renting a room from my cousin, and it was one of these areas that is for students and whoever wanted to rent rooms. And then I met him there. I was a little kid, and we used to go there every week, a couple times a week, and I met him as one of them because they're there, and we became close friends. But again, I'm just a little kid. But he was showing me Kung Fu moves, which so every time I went there, and I didn't know what it was, but he's showing me all his moves. So that was my first taste of it. My real introduction was the year after. I've been part of the Japanese Community Center for many years, and they opened a judo school there at the community center. And my dad, who had trained in judo back in the late 20s, wanted us to do judo. So I was 8 years old, I think around there, 1968. I think 8 or 9. And sorry, the years get blurry over the time.
No worries. A lot of history.
So I went there, and it was back then. If you were a kid, you weren't allowed to do martial arts. You had to be over 16. But because we were part of the Japanese Community Center, and my friend was studying there, they made an exception. So the two of us were young little kids there, and they tossed us like rag dolls.
I will not be bullied by that.
judo. We were just flipped everywhere. I don't remember seeing the ground. I just remember seeing this. I remember seeing that.
Just hitting the floor.
Oh, it was it. I hated it. Hated every minute of it. We committed to 1 year, and 1 year to the date I quit because I couldn't stand it. But right around the same time, the bully in school was jumping people, and he jumped me, and I flipped him, and boom, there he went on the ground, and that was it.
Nice.
I said, this stuff works.
So you got,
That's it. So I said, okay, I got to find what I like. I tried jiu-jitsu, and I tried karate, and this guy came in the school named Al DeCascas. And he had a blackout uniform, and he had high collar, and he was going like this. And I said, that's it. That's the art I wanted to study. So I found a kung fu school. Lyle Fujioka was teaching. He was under Buxom Kong and Vernon Reyera in Hungar. And I got hooked in there. I loved it. I started teaching it. I did that for about 10 years or so. And in the meantime, during that time, one of the students I befriended, I was already an advanced student, and one of the other students came in, and we became quick friends. He was a beginner, and a guy from Hong Kong came to America, and he saw my friend working out at the college, and he says, oh, you're no good. Let me show you some kung fu that's better.
My kung fu is better than yours.
Oh, wow.
And he said, okay. So we didn't know it was monkey kung fu. So he would come to class, and I would teach him to get caught up to me, because I was an advanced, he was beginner. So I'd go over his house, and because he was nearby, we became close friends in college, and he was college age, and so I was teaching him. So when he started learning this new art called monkey, he said, hey, you want to learn this stuff? We didn't know it was called monkey. And I said, sure, why not? So that was, we started studying together. That was around 77, something like that. So we started studying, so everything he started learning, he started teaching me. So I was the very first of his student. Even though he wasn't a teacher yet, I was still learning everything he was learning. So everything, we did that for several years, and then went off to in our own ways, and then I continued with Hungar while I went to another college, and he went somewhere else, and then we reconnected again, and then just only a few years, and then I continued with him for many years. I continued with him for 45 years doing monkey kung fu, and I was the only one who learn the entire art form. It's a very hard art, really is, and people don't like it, and people come and go.
Tough on
if you do it right, is it? If you do it right, and we became best of friends, for years, and then we left. He left for another part of the country, and then I stayed here, and I'm continuing teaching the art, keeping the art of monkey kung fu alive, and that's what I do, is still teach it today. So you
became a grandmaster. You're a grandmaster in the system.
I'm the one who succeeded the system, inherited during the family tree, sixth generation master of the art, grandmaster of the art, and succeeded him, and now I'm teaching and carrying on through my students.
Talk a little bit about your upbringing too. Are you born and raised in California, or are you?
Yes, I'm born and raised in California. I'm mostly Hispanic, part Japanese and part Italian, mostly Hispanic. My family goes back all the way to 300 years here in California. My great-great-great-grandfather was governor of California for many years. And so, which is kind of cool. I should run for the governor.
Hey, we could use you.
But we could literally trace our family trees, and we went to the gravesite of all our relatives, my relatives. We literally traced our family trees through each origin, so which is nice to be able to do that, like even Linda Ronstadt, we have the same great-grandfather, which is kind of cool.
That's very
which is kind of cool.
You got a lot of celebrity connections.
So which is nice. But kung fu is my main thing. I love it. I still do it. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy teaching.
Of course.
It's all part of me. Even though I do monkey kung fu, and that's been my specialty, and it's one I continue to press on. Hungar Shaolin has been my favorite, even better than monkey. I still enjoy Hungar.
Grandmaster Buxom Kong,
great guy, wonderful man.
Amby was.
Oh yeah, Don was my classmate.
Yeah,
He was my younger classmate.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, he was just coming in. I was already like 6 years before Don came by.
Okay, so I bring up your upbringing because I want to get to your writing too, because I know you became a writer for like inside Kung Fu and in Black Belt. So how did that kind of evolve? What was that? It was also just a passion you wanted, as well as martial arts, to write?
Well, you know, doing martial arts, especially Kung Fu, you get to know the circles a little bit, you know. And I knew James Liu, I knew Doug Wong, and those guys. And when they started the magazine, now they started the magazine in 1973, right. I think it was right after Bruce Lee died or right before, I can't remember. But you know, even though Bruce Lee is by far the guy, you know, without a doubt, the most popular, the most well-known, the most impacting guy there ever was. But I was already doing Kung Fu before Bruce Lee, so I know he had an impact on everybody. But I was already into the martial arts before that. So at that part, I was hanging around with, you know, knowing who Doug Wong and those guys were. And then when they started Inside Kung Fu magazine, that was the greatest thing in the world. Love that magazine.
I was gonna say, I love that.
Oh, it's the best. Best covers.
Oh, monthly?
Oh yeah.
But anyway.
It was the best. So I said, you know, one day I'm going to write for that magazine, Inside Kung Fu, because my instructor was already getting on the cover. Because he got his first cover on there, I think 1982, I think, or 81. And he got his first cover when he beat Cynthia and George Chung and everybody at the internationals, and he got on the cover. And I said, you know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to write for the magazine. So I went to school, got my journalism degree. Once I got my journalism degree, I already knew the magazine people because of going there for photos and stuff. And they said, okay, here's your first article, 10 years after Bruce Lee. So I interviewed Danny Inosanto, and that was it.
How do you like that?
20-year writing for Inside Kung Fu and Black Belt magazine. I got my instructor on many covers galore. I had articles in there all the time, and I loved writing for the magazine, especially Inside Kung Fu. I really enjoyed that.
Nice. And your instructor again was?
Paulie Zink. Paulie Zink, my instructor. Yeah. And then I started my own magazine for a while called Martial Art Magazine, and I did that for about 4 years and sold that later on. But I enjoy the magazines. I miss them. I miss them.
I miss that. Just have it.
I miss the covers. Inside Kung Fu had the best covers.
Oh, you guys were amazing with that. My Sifu was actually on a cover, and my Grandmaster Master Shown was on there.
Oh, nice,
I got that one autographed and stuff.
I remember every cover it came out. Every cover, every single cover.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about the museum now. So obviously, fast forward, you want a place that actually, you know, like encompasses the history of martial arts and everything like that. I know for a while it was different locations. It was actually a traveling thing for you for a while. It wasn't an actual location. So tell me how that actually did start. Speaking of Douglas Wong, he helped you start that, right?
Right. You know, what happened was I wanted, when I started Martial Art Magazine, I wanted to focus on history because it was hard getting articles on history and Inside Kung Fu and Black Belt. They wanted to focus on the deadliest kick or whatever. And I said, okay, I'm going to do a magazine because I now had my journalism degree, and then I got my degree for design, graphic design and all that. And I was still going to college and working on getting my other stuff later on. And when I had the magazine, I kept getting ads for tournaments.
It's not tournament.
And I said, okay, I got to cover tournaments because I get tournament ads because that's what's paying for the magazine. So doing tournaments is not what I wanted to do, but I got to know everybody. You know, I knew the early days of the BKF. You know, I got to know Steve Sanders, especially Alvin Prouder, and I were very close friends, and Robert Temple, and all those guys, and Sensei Cecil Peoples. That's where I got to know Cecil and train under Sensei Cecil. You know, through the magazine and all that, and I got to know everybody. You know, I got to know Cynthia very well, and George Chung and all these people, which was a great time in history. You know, so when it wasn't doing the history though that I wanted it, and someone came along after 4 years and said, hey, I want to buy the magazine, and before you could get, do you want to sell it? I said, sold. The man in the cold sweat. So I sold the magazine, and I said, okay, I want to focus on history. What would be the best way to do history? And I thought, a museum would be great. We don't have a museum. There is no museum whatsoever. Our only archive is the magazines.
Right.
And if you're not in the magazine, nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows your art. Nobody knows nothing. And I said, a museum would be fantastic. But I didn't know anything about museums. I didn't want to be someone that just gets a uniform and pins it on the wall and says, this is, you know, that's so unprofessional. I said, I have to learn how to do this. So I went back to school for another 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Got a degree in business.
That's why your business.
I went to the American Film Institute. I went there for 3 years to learn how to do producing and directing.
Right.
Then I went back to learn architecture, and I went back to learn design, and you name it, public relations, everything I needed to learn to do a museum. Meanwhile, I was working, of course, in the industry. I was a producer. I produced commercials, and I was a designer. I did magazine design, you know, paste up and layout and all that stuff for years. And all that time I was doing that. So about 8 years into it, I said, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to launch this, but I don't know how to launch it.
Okay.
Boris Jacques owns teen karate centers, and at the time the website internet was new. You know, 1998, 1999.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really new. No, you know, it's like, what is that? You know.
It's not a real voice. This box just interprets signals from the computer and turns them into sound.
Shall we play a game?
And Boris had a site called Martial Info. And it was very popular, but it was a horrible site, horrible, because back then there was no design stuff, you know, it was just text and stuff.
No graphics.
And it was really bad. And he said, Michael, this is the internet. And I said, tell me about it, you know, because nobody knew this stuff. And I said, oh, okay. He goes, if you help me, because you're a designer, design the website. You know, I had to learn what a website was.
Right.
Design a website, and martialinfo.com, I will make you co-CEO, and we'll do it together. Yes. And I said, okay, let's do it. So that's what we did. We started building it, and he says, you know, you're doing your museum. You want to, let's launch it here. Okay. On the internet, we'll make a page for it, and we'll launch it right now. And I said, great, okay, boom, boom, boom. I made a page for it, he paid for it, you know, yay.
That's always great.
Yeah, and there it was, September 15th, 1999, the website came up, and Martial Arts History Museum was born.
There you go.
Now, of course, it was, before that, of course, it was not on the internet.
Right.
And before that, you know, right after 1988, when I sold the magazine, I contacted Doug Wong. Okay. And I contacted Doug, and I said, you know, Doug, I want to do a museum. I think it would be great to do that. And I said, what do you think? And he said, I think it would be a great idea.
Everything in this museum comes to life. That's freaking awesome.
I said, so Doug was the first person I talked to about the museum. Then I talked to other people along the way, but he was the most influential person in the beginning. So all that fast forward, and I said, we got to take it as an exhibit. Okay. We got to take it around so people will get interested in it. See if they like it, you know, because yeah, if they didn't like it, there's no sense in going forward, you know. So I said, I got to get some walls and stuff, and Boris says, I will get them for you. I will have my people, and we will donate the walls for you. Nice. So he did. He made 10 walls, all of felt. I got the pictures with the blessings from Inside Kung Fu. Use any picture you want. I put their pictures up, and there I became a traveling exhibit. Traveled all over the place for years. Did that for 4 or 5 years. Got interest. Got more people wanting it, and I said to Sifu Douglas Wong, I said, can I borrow your drum for the thing? Oh yeah, go ahead. Can I borrow that lion over there? Okay. Can I borrow that uniform over there? So everything was I was borrowing for Doug Wong.
Oh, that's great. So
it was the Doug Wong Museum. so you know, like when the Inside Kung Fu first started, they had Doug Wong on the cover a lot, and it was everybody said Inside Doug Wong instead of Inside Kung Fu because he was on there.
Probably kind of cool because you know, because back in the day I know he was in Kung Fu with the David Carradine. So
yeah. And that was his brother.
Along, right?
Yeah, Curtis.
Right? So.
Yeah, how great to have Curtis Wong. wrong. Your brother, what a great man Curtis is. But to be on there, you know, and I cannot say enough applause for Inside Kung Fu. They just carried me through. Whatever I needed, Inside Kung Fu was there.
Very nice.
Anytime I needed, which I really applaud them for that. But anyway, yeah, so I took it on the road, took it all over the place, and then once I felt that people were supporting it, I said, okay, we're going to find a place. We're going to find a brick and mortar place. Right. So while I was working as a producer for, I think it was Blue Cross of California, I got laid off. But they gave us a nice package, which is nice to last about a year. And I said, you know, this is the perfect time. Now that I have a package, I'll be able to look for a place and have the museum in a location. Because in the meantime, while we're doing traveling exhibits, we're having dinner ceremonies, the Hall of Fame ceremonies we've been having. And we had seminars at different schools, workshops. So the museum was alive in other places. You know, we were here, we're going to do this here, we're going to do that here. And we were doing all these exhibits and everything, keeping it moving. So I said, okay, I found a place. I was living in the city of Santa Clarita, and at this time I was petitioning the city of LA, working with Richard Alarcon, working with Villaraigosa, working with Cardenas, with Padilla, all those people, Garcetti back then, and trying to get them on board, doing everything, and they just wouldn't come on board. Richard Alarcon is the only one that came on board to help us out, but the rest of them wouldn't come on board. And I said, so I went to the senator, the congressman McKeon, and Mayor West of Santa Clarita, and they said, why don't you have it here? We're going to build 3 museums right over here. And they took me to the lot, and we're going to do a stunt museum, a children's museum, and this would be perfect for you. And I said, wonderful, okay, that sounds great, let's move toward that. So in the meantime, there was a building right next to that area that was going to be for lease. And I said, it was a big building, and I said, we can lease that out for about a year, and when they get ready to start constructing, we'll be right there, ready to move. So it was good. We opened there in 2008, I believe it was, something like that. And that was it. Opened the place. It was great. We had a theater in there, which was nice, like 250-seat theater. Oh, very nice. And then we had the displays. We even had Bruce Lee's mat. Richard Bustillo would bring over the dummy, and we had a bunch of weapons. It was really cool. You know, it wasn't as nice as this place, but it had a lot of stuff in there. But after a year, the new mayorship came on board, and they said, we're not going to do any museums here at all, period. Nothing. We're not going to do anything. So I said, what am I doing here? They pulled us forward. That was it. When our lease was up, I said goodbye to the city of Santa Clarita, and I said, I'm going to find a better location later on. So we went back on the road again until we find this place here in the city of Burbank. And they said, okay, this is a good place. We're going to start. It's not as big, but that's okay. We're on a big street. We'll set up here and get things going, and that's what we did. We set up here about 2010, something like that. And we've been here about 13 years now. And we do, besides the insides here, we do outside. We have like an outside theater, and we have could fit 80 people there. We do movie screenings, and we do stuff about 2 to 3 times a month back there. So we do tours here, and we just do events galore here, and which is very nice. The city has been behind us sometimes and helping us with our convention, Dragonfest, and all that stuff like that. Talk about Dragonfest. So, but yeah, that's how we got here to this location, and you know, we think people enjoy it. People come here, and we get a lot of repeat people, which is nice. I can see why. I mean, the stuff here, the collections, it's very vast, and the history is like all on the walls and everything. It's really pretty cool. I can tell a lot of work was put into it. Yeah, and you know, it has that feeling when you get here, that feeling of home, you know, that feeling of I'm a part of this. This is part of my life, you know, and that's what it feels like, you know, and to me that's what it feels like. You know, everybody comes here, I know who that guy is, or this, and oh, you know, you get that great feeling of being part of it. Oh, absolutely. And that's what I wanted to have people feel that, and they do. So which is nice. We are like the #2 tourist attraction for the city of Burbank, which is nice. That's awesome. It's all the marketing we do. Yeah, no, that's great. And you know, and you would hope hope that the big guys, the movie stars would come and support the museum, but it's the little guys. You know, the little guys.
The story.
Yeah, the little guys, the small guys, they're the ones that built this. They're the ones that donated. You know, none of the big guys donated a dime. You know, Jackie Chan gave us a T-shirt. That's about it.
I like the third choice.
You know, Chuck Norris gave us a signed autograph. That was it.
This time your ass is grass, mister.
But, you know, and it, you know, hopefully they'll come on board.
Right.
I will hope.
Right.
But in the meantime, it's these little kids, it's these instructors, it's these teachers, it's students. They're the ones coming here and donating the $100 or the $500 or $1,000 or the $5 or the $1 or whatever.
But obviously, Dragonfest is one of your biggest events that you guys have. How did that all start? We just wanted an annual event that you...
Yeah, Dragonfest is our biggest fundraiser.
Okay.
Yeah, Dragonfest was started by Gerald Okamura, a beautiful man, does Kung Fu Sansu. I knew Gerald many, many years ago. And he wanted to do a little convention to that. I think it was in San Dimas where he started it. And he had a little room and had a few tables, and that was Dragonfest, the start of it. You walked around, say hello, and that was it. And then, but over the years, it built up and got a huge following. And then it became part of Inside Kung Fu. They had a full-page ad for it, and it got bigger and bigger, which is really nice. And they got a little more big stars and all that, which is really great. And so he ended up through the years at the Glendale Civic Auditorium, and that's where he ended it. He did it for 9 years. Fantastic site, and we did my friend and I, Firebores, back in the day when the websites were new. We were grabbing all the .coms for martial artists. We were, you know, we were grabbing everyone because not because we wanted to sell it, we wanted to hold it so someone else wouldn't grab it.
Back when you could get the .com.
Right.
Now you can't find the .com.
I know. You know, I kick myself for not getting martialarts.com. I do. I had the chance to get it for $1,000, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I should have done it.
I gotcha.
But anyway, we got Dragonfest.com because we didn't want it lost, and we got a bunch of .coms for a lot of people. And Dragonfest was one of them. And since we got it, I said, Gerald, let me build the website for you. And he said, oh, great. Okay, so that's what I did. I built the website every year for Gerald, and I had a booth there. So Gerald had the event for 9 years. It was a fantastic event, and then he closed it after the 9th year.
Okay, right.
So during that time, it was dead for 10 years. Nobody did anything.
Okay, I was wondering, how did you pick it back up?
Yeah, so when we had the museum, which we started in '99, and by that time, I think that was toward the end of Dragonfest, 2003 or something like that. I don't remember the date. And so a little overlap there. And then everybody kept bugging me. You need to pick up Dragonfest. We need it back. That was a great convention. And the museum would be the perfect one to do it, to have Dragonfest. You need to do it. And I said, no, 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 no. I got too much going on. I have work. I have this, you know. And they kept bugging me, and I said, okay, I give in. Now, but at this time, I had already done conventions, so I already knew how to do it. And I already ran tournaments, because I was doing tournaments when I had the magazine, so I knew that whole kind of thing. So I asked Gerald, I said, Gerald, I don't want to do this without you. I need your blessing to do this, you know. Can I do Dragonfest? And he goes, Mike, you do it. You should be the best one to do it at the museum. It's yours, you know. You take it over. And I said, thank you. I said, this is always going to be yours. This is, you founded it. You will always be, this will be your baby. And I will do my best to keep it, you know, to honor you through this.
That's great, the passing of the baton, and you did, and kept it going.
And we did. We started Dragonfest 7 years ago, so we just continued the count from 9th annual. We just continued it, 10th annual, 11th annual, and it started out as it started, bang. It was really great. We had a lot of people that packed the place out. We had to get a bigger place, and we had to get a bigger place, and now we're back to the same place, the Glendale Civic Auditorium.
That's awesome.
But
and when is
it's
it
a great time.
Because I definitely got a plan to come.
It's August 5th.
August 5th. Okay.
And we have 12 seminars going. All the money, 100% of the funds go to help the museum in our move.
Very nice.
And we have stage performances, a cultural stage performance, and we got a lot of great people that come all the time, and we just pack it out. And it's like here, it's like a reunion. It's cool. Everybody comes there, and they get there at 11 o'clock, and they don't leave till 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and I haven't been to one, so I'm really excited.
Oh, it is too fun. Everybody's there. And you know, sad to say, our pioneer players are passing away who have been there. Ryusaki was there all the time, and all these people who have passed away was there. But you know, and Fumio Demura, of course. But you know, at least we got the time to celebrate them there at Dragonfest and all that, which was really nice to do.
I'll wrap it up just by asking you. So what's on the horizon? I know the move is on the horizon, but what else is on the horizon for the museum?
Yeah, well, talking about quickly of the move, we are doing our best to relocate. We have outgrown this place as far as events go. We do events, we can hold 80 people in the back, but we get like 120 now.
Got it.
So we got them packed in the hallways.
Yeah. It's a little tight.
Yeah,
Right.
and the one thing that we can have is the Unified School District tours, because it requires 90 kids to get a bus. And we can't have 90 kids in here. We can only do 30 kids. And that's been our biggest, you know, obstacle. You know, because that's a lot of fun. You know, the Natural History Museum, which has been just wonderful to me, helping guide me, and the Japanese American Museum especially has been helping me. What do you need? You need to do this. What do you need? You learn about our store. What do you need? They've been so helpful, and they get in from as low as 2,000 kids a day to as high as 12,000 kids a day. And I said, if we can get a fraction of that, we're going to do really well. I can get paid one day. One day, I've never gotten paid. So I said, you know, we're in a position now. COVID almost killed us. You know, COVID killed everybody. Thankfully, people came on board, donated. We got a little money from the government, so we donated. The ones that started. Sorry, didn't need to mention that.
I got it.
But anyway, at least we got some money to carry us through, and it carried us through. So now we're at the point. Okay, let's find a place. Let's go to a city that has a lot of traffic, and which is Glendale. 8 minutes from here. The Eric the Trainer, wonderful man,
Eric the Trainer,
connected us with the mayor of Glendale. The mayor came on board. He says, I want the museum here in my city. Great, okay. So he got it, the talk started going, and we found a place, and we got the deal ready to do, and the deal fell through. The owner pulled out because he felt we'd bring in too many school kids to the thing. You know, okay, I understand if you don't want all that, that's all right. And thankfully we found a new place, a bigger place, 8,000 square feet, about 8,000 square feet. We are in the final negotiations, and hopefully if the city gives final approval, we'll be able to move in there in October. So we're very excited about it. Our fingers are crossed, and if it doesn't go through, we'll just look for a new place. But it'll be, you know, it'll be great to be in a huge city with a lot of walk-by traffic
and more room,
and we can get the schools
and you can have tours, big tours. That'd be great.
We'll need docents, we can hire people, and we'll have a big museum store, which will be great. Hopefully we'll have some Bruce Lee products there, you know, and you know, it'll be a fantastic time. So that's on the horizon for the museum.
That's amazing, You can expand your hours too, right?
We're going to open another extra day and all that, you know. I can't be open every day. I need a little time off. I don't know how they do it.
Well, hopefully you get some staffing as well.
That'd be nice one day.
You don't have to be here all the time, right?
But in conclusion, you know, the museum is a great thing for the community.
No, it is.
You know, me personally, I grew up with these guys, Fumio Demura, with all these guys that came to America, you know, the Kung Fu guys, Brendan Lai, Y.C. Wong, you know, those early guys, Cam Yuen, you know, they came here, you know, Bong Soo-han, you know, he was driving a taxi when he got here. You know, getting to know these guys growing up makes it personal to me. But, you know, looking at those who brought the arts here, you know, the people that from the Jigoro Kano and all those guys, then the arts coming to America and all that, it's wonderful to trace that history, to know where your art came from, the country it came from, and how it started with that instructor. And to you, generations later, you're carrying on what that person learned, you know, 100, 200 200, 300 or more years ago, 1,000 years ago. And how cool is that to have that here?
Very
So the museum to me is a wonderful thing for the community. I am sad that we're the only one.
Yeah.
But you know, I will say with all honesty, we will be the only one. With all honesty, if this museum does not succeed, all our history will be lost forever. I can say that without a doubt. Wow. Because, you know, we've had what? All these years since I Kung Fu started and black belt, nobody's ever done a history. You know, someone tried to do a Bruce Lee museum once and it didn't last a year.
Right.
And this is it. Yeah. This is it. I have went back to school, everything to learn how to make this succeed. Right. And with this one doesn't succeed, that's it. Got it. Everything that Benny did, everything that all these pioneers did is going to be forgotten and lost forever. And how sad would that be?
No, very sad.
You know,
thank goodness you're here and you guys have this, and I'm grateful you guys are going to be able to open up a new location.
Yeah, that, well, you know, having the new location it will be a big size museum. You know, I say, okay, we're a small museum now. But now we're going to be up there, which is nice. Right. And then this way we can connect with the Dodgers there, with, you know, other areas around there. Right.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and we'll have the tours of the kids coming in, and they're going to tell their parents.
Okay, so yeah, people want to reach out to you with, at the museum. The website obviously would be?
The website is the letter M-A and the word museum. So mamuseum.com. Also martialartsmuseum.com. We are a certified and active nonprofit organization, 501c3. So all the donations, if they want to give them, are fully tax deductible. And we're located here in the city of Burbank, currently at 2319 West Magnolia Boulevard in the great city of Burbank, and hopefully soon to be the city of Glendale.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to you guys moving. But in the meantime, come on out, check out the museum, really wonderful place. I'd ask you offline, but I'll ask you again. Teaching wise, you don't take any new students, but you still are training some students in Monkey Kung Fu?
Right, yes, I teach in my class. I have about 6 or 7 students have been my core students. I've been teaching them for many years to carry on the art. I do not accept new students. However, I don't want the art to be lost, so I've been putting the entire art on Amazon, a DVD for the whole thing. I've got 18 DVDs, and I will have another 20 coming out, and everything I learned, everything in this head will now be on DVD, so when I'm gone, Monkey Kung Fu will continue for many generations.
Very sweet. All right, well, thank you again, Mr. Michael Matsuda.
Oh, my pleasure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure.
Come out to the museum, guys. Come check it out.
Support this guy, definitely.
Okay, well, that was so much fun. And if you're out here in the Southern California area, I do highly recommend you come on by the museum located in Burbank, California. You guys will have a great time, whether you're a martial artist or a non-martial artist. There's plenty for all the people to see in there, kids, adults, everybody. But it's all about you guys as always. What did you specifically think about this special episode? Would you like me to do more like them? Would we go to different locations like this? Share your comments down below and let me know. And while you're at it, why don't you guys go ahead and check out another interview or two that I bet you guys will probably like and enjoy. Guys, thanks again for watching the video. Stay safe. See you all in the next round, and keep punching.
Hi, this is Michael Matsuda, president of the Martial Arts History Museum, and thank you for watching Kung Fu Chronicles.